Hey folks, today we're going to be trying to create some of the heaviest guitar tones the world has ever seen. Maybe even the universe. There's a massive trend in modern metal of trying to use a lot less gain than you think you need. I think a more fun trend would be try to use as much gain as humanly possible and then go a little bit higher. It's nice when we have variation. It's nice when we experiment. I just find this way a little bit more fun. I was kind of brought up on metal from the 80s and 90s, and I find that it has a lot more variation. So let's have a look at a few tones. Today we're using the Charvel SoCal with a set of distortion pickups by Seymour Duncan, a flat strat in the middle. For the most part I'm going to be using the bridge pickup, but I do sometimes add a little bit of flat strat just to chime through a little bit. You'll notice that I'm wearing different clothes in a lot of these clips. The build-up of fuzz and distortion was so great that I had to take days off. I think that's what got Hendrix in the end. That's my hypothesis. It may just be because I kept going a little ear blind. Ear deaf? Ear blind makes more sense somehow. This was a hard video to make. It's hard to get that balance between dank, beautifully dank, and completely unusable. All of these tones were created using clean amps. So one of the benefits actually is you can get a really heavy tone, but you can possibly play it at bedroom levels, which is surely the dream we've all had since we were little guitarists. I like stacking distortion, and today we're going to look at a few of my favourite stacks. Hey, let me know what your favourite guitar stack is. One of the best investments that I think you can make if you're going to be experimenting with a lot of heavy tones is a really good EQ pedal. Now, the Boss EQ200, you can put this after any pedal and it'll make it almost a different pedal. Worth the weight in gold. One of my favourite recent releases metal-wise is Pyroclasts by Sunn. A great drone metal band, and I really like drone metal. But I'm trying to recreate something like that. I have a fuzz into a extreme distortion into another fuzz. It gives you the tone oscillates, but isn't completely out of control with frequencies. Quite a lot of the time when you're trying to create something really heavy, the frequencies can get away from you. This creates quite a flat but rich, controllable, doomy sound. Everything that we add, remember, is adding some level of EQ. So we go first into the Woolly Mammoth. A pretty wild fuzz, especially good for down-tuned guitars, and we're playing in, by the way, everything today is in D standard. I don't really like getting into the territory where I just tune lower just to get heavier. That's not really the meaning of this video. But it fuzzes it up while maintaining the low end. That then goes into the Acapulco Gold by Earthquaker Devices. Be careful with this can blow your amp. It's a Model T style distortion that gets into fuzzy territory. A good trick is to keep it around the brim of the treasure chest. Can be used as an extreme distortion, but you can control it. It responds very well to the volume knob on your guitar. A very versatile pedal with one knob because of its interaction with the volume on your guitar. Of course, today, in the spirit of things, I've got the volume on my guitar turned all the way up. That then goes into my Big Muff. This is from 1999. It's one of the first pedals I ever got. It doesn't take power anymore. It takes batteries. And every time I change the battery on it, it risks destroying the entire thing. It has fallen apart. I love it though. These big boxes by Electro Harmonics rust in a really nice way, by the way. Might seem like a strange thing to say. Relict pedals, the next big thing. It's very good to combine this with other pedals because it can get lost in the mix, but for this purpose we don't really care about that. It's finishing off with a nice juicy fuzz. Let's see what that sounds like. Drone metal. This is the pedal that inspired this video, actually. It was a really expensive joke to myself when I got the Hello Kitty fuzz. It's a bit of a meme of a pedal, and I was like, well, can I create a board that's the heaviest tone known to humankind using the memest pedals? So obviously I thought, can I stack this with a grunge pedal and a Bad Monkey? I didn't have either of those pedals at the time, so I had to buy secondhand the infamous Bad Monkey and a Digitech grunge. I didn't pay for the rather expensive DOD grunge. I was almost disappointed at how good this sounded. I really, really was. It's a really usable sort of mid-90s sludge tone. Very, very full-bodied fuzz distortion. Don't go mad with it. Respect the grunge, and it'll respect you. Bad Monkey, tube overdrive with a good EQ on it. Can't go wrong. I experimented. I thought, usually a lot of people will tell you that fuzz being high gain works better if it goes last. More often than not, I find that fuzz goes better when you're using it first. It can depend on the type of fuzz, of course. I think what we've got here is a sort of post-metal sound. Post-metal / a little bit of horrible new metal in there. I just like new metal. Am I allowed to say that? Next up, we've got a boosted Swedish Chainsaw style. I can't say that. Lo-fi metal. There's a lot of HM2 clones around, but what I like to use is the DOD American metal. It came out in, I think it was 84 or 85. This one is dated with its serial number to 1985. I'm just a little bit older than this pedal. Traditionally, you'd like to put everything up. We're backing off the presence a little bit. By the way, the presence knob on this is very interesting. It's a very, very nice EQ curve that it gives you. All the way up gives you that, and then a little bit back, it gives you more mellow sound. It's kind of like a boss heavy metal with less options, but personally I find it's easier to use. A little bit nicer than the HM2. So that would give us the classic Swedish sound anyway. But we're going into possibly it is my favorite noise gate of all time, the KMA Machines Pylon. Now this is a noise gate that has a synced boost. It syncs up, the boost syncs up, so it's not boosting the signal when the voice gate is engaged, but as soon as the sound comes through, it starts boosting it. Now don't make the same mistake as me. When I first tried this, I had this set to full chainsaw settings, everything all the way up. And I didn't realize, but I had the gate off and I had the boost all the way up. That was one of the worst sounds I've ever heard in my life. Be very, very careful. This is a large boost. Now it can give you quite nice rhythm tones, this, or quite horrible rhythm tones. Now to add some lead over the top of this, I'm putting a little bit of ping pong delay. What I'm going for here is a kind of atmospheric black metal vibe. I'm really into lo-fi metal, and this gives me what I want. Any kind of green overdrive pedal going into either amp distortion or pedal distortion. Really, really classic sound in metal. Plumes is personally my favorite type. Modes 2 and 3, sometimes 1 actually. I go between, I can never remember what they do. Whatever I'm hearing that day, it's good to have the option. It does subtly but significantly change the tone. We're taking the gain all the way down. A lot of the time people would use it boosted. I'm taking a little bit of volume out. Is it doing much? It seems to. Going into what I think is one of Boss's most underrated pedals, the Mega Distortion. I believe it was released because of the popularity of 7-string and extended range guitars. during the height of new metal, but it just gives you a very good bottom end, which sometimes sounds very good only in the room. Once you come to listen to a recording back, you might lose a bit of that bottom end, but I feel it gives you a presence in the bottom end that goes through onto the recording. Real late 90s sort of distortion, but we're making it a little bit more eviler with a honeypot fuzz at the end. This is a clone of a Russian green Big Muff. Now this is used in Doom a lot because, well, this style of pedal is used in Doom a lot. It's very good with low end. We're using a Boss line selector basically as a mix knob, so we can blend between the signal that's just these two and that's these three. It gives us a little bit more control. The first riff is with the full stack. The second riff is with just the plumes and the Boss Mega Overdrive. I made a bit of a happy accident though. I recorded the first one into my usual guitar rig. When I turned the fuzz on, I accidentally recorded it through my bass rig, but I like the sound of it. First riff is much more OSDM. Second riff is much more new metal. What a horrible combination. I like it. Guys, if you want to like this video, it would be a big help because I want to make more of this sort of stuff, and if YouTube pushes it, that means I can do so. Thanks. Also, subscribe while you're down there. It's a big help also. That does push the video, you know.